Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur nächsten Ausgabe von Drink at Home. Heute der schönste Tag seit langem. Gestern war es auch schon sehr schön, aber heute extrem warm. Aber leider gehen wir in den nächsten Lockdown, da ab heute Mitternacht es wieder soweit ist. Bis 11. April ist leider wieder mal alles zu. Aber das Schöne ist, wir sind für euch da. Ihr seid mit uns gemeinsam da und wir haben wieder einen Gast, einen internationalen Gast aus Spanien. Aber bevor wir Fernando willkommen heißen, ganz kurz gab es eine Änderung der Reihenfolge der Biere. Wir werden euch das genauso in den Chatverlauf hineinschreiben und auch am Bildschirm wird ihr es mitbekommen. Aber für all jene, die jetzt schon zuschauen und die sich die Biere vielleicht herrichten wollen, ganz kurz die neue Reihenfolge, weil die Leute haben zu mir gesagt, sie haben die Biere nochmal verkostet und sie haben sich entschieden eben für diese neue Reihenfolge. So, wir starten mit Take It Easy, ist das erste Bier. Cuevania, das zweite. Camille, das dritte. Propaganda, das vierte. Mango Roots, das fünfte. Und zu guter Letzt Calanda. Das wird das sechste Bier des heutigen Abends sein. Ganz kurz auch nochmal, ihr findet die Beschreibungen über meinen Gast und meine Person, falls ihr zum ersten Mal dabei seid, und natürlich auch wieder unseren Verkostungsbogen, wo ihr euch persönliche Notizen machen könnt. Jetzt wäre es eigentlich soweit, dass ich den Fernando begrüße, aber ich mitbekomme, ist er gerade nicht im Bild. Fernando, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Marcus.
Hello, can you please turn on the camera?
Yeah, sorry.
Because we can't see you.
I think I have touched something.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Hi, Marcus. Hi, everyone.
So, hello again, Fernando. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. And first of all, I want to know, how is the weather back in Spain, in Saragossa?
Really nice today. We have a sunny day.
Okay.
We have 25 degrees.
Oh.
And well, first of all, I want to, on behalf of Cierzo and my own, thank you for this opportunity to share our product, our beers with you and your customers.
You're more than welcome. So that's the first row tonight, because also today, I guess, hopefully all over Austria, the sun was shining, but I can only tell you, Vienna, sunny, 25 degrees, so it's a draw between Saragossa and Vienna. So, okay, now we're gonna back to be serious. Fernando, Cierzo, first of all, what does it mean?
Well, Cierzo is the typical wind in our area, in Zaragoza. And we can say that we are like the Chicago of Spain, because it's a very, very hard wind.
Okay.
And well, everybody that visits Zaragoza remember Cierzo for ages. Yeah.
Okay. So Cierzo means then wind, storm.
Mm-hmm. Wind.
Wind.
That's because the logo of the brewery.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So, Fernando, a few words about yourself. Introduce yourself. What's your background? How long you are with the team?
Mm-hmm. Well, my relationship with the craft beer starts first as a customer. Well, it becomes stronger when three of my friends open a tap room.
Okay.
That is one of the partners of Cierzo as well. And then we have tasted a lot of beers from all around the world. And well, the relationship with the craft beer becomes really stronger. After that, I met our brewers that were brewing as Populus then, the former brewery before Cierzo. And the last partner is Gurpas, that I met the last, but not minus important. And then, well, they decided to board this journey, and I joined them. They trust my management skills. And I start managing with a colleague the brew pub, and now I'm managing the brew pub still, but also taking care of another parts of the process.
Okay, cool. So what's beside Cierzo? There should be then a bar in Saragossa which is really famous.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the bar? Because who knows, some days we will be allowed to travel again, and then make some noise for the bar. The name is of the bar?
You will be welcome then.
Yeah, thank you.
It's Cierzo as well, Cierzo Brewing as well. Okay. And we have a little brewery on the brew pub that we try to make some classic styles like Pilsners, Weizen, blonde ales, red ales. And we have the main brewery at more or less an hour from Zaragoza in Caspe, town. One of our brewers was born in Caspe, and the former brewery was there. So we decided not to change and continue producing in Caspe.
In Caspe. Cool. So Cierzo started back in 2018. What means back? So the brewery is 2.5 years old only.
Yeah.
But already well established, I would say, so you have already a name in the brewing scene. To how many countries do you export at the moment?
I think more or less 12. 12
countries already.
Mm-hmm. Only in Europe for the moment, of course, but it's important for us the export part. Now we are in 65% inside Spain and 35-40 more or less outside Spain. It's a really good quote for us, and it's because of it that it's super important for us. Events like that, and can share our product with you, for example, in Austria.
Cool. So I would say start with the first beer. Start.
Okay.
So I'm waiting the whole day to drink my first beer tonight.
We have come to drink these marvelous beers.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
It's a New Zealand Pale Ale. Cool. Yes.
Well, take it easy, but it's not easy as its names. Okay. If you go to a beer shop, if you read on the can pale ale, maybe you cannot be so much interested because IPAs are now the most popular. But in this case, if you ask me, should I purchase this can? The answer is yes, because of the hops. The Nelson Sauvin is a single hop beer, New Zealand Pale Ale, and the Nelson Sauvin. We were so focused on the hops in this recipe because we wanted the hop to be the protagonist. It's a complex hop, so then. I say that it's a complex beer made simply. Only extra pale malt and wheat and Nelson Sauvin.
To really get focused on Nelson Sauvin and give it a showcase, okay?
Because it's very complex. Well, the Nelson Sauvin is called like that because we can have notes of Sauvignon Blanc.
So wait. Now we have to pour it.
Okay.
Okay, let's see how it...
And this sound is magical.
Yes.
The opening a can. Cheers, Marcus.
Cheers, Fernando. So, color-wise, it's golden, I would say, with a really nice foam head. It's really stable. The foam stays really, really long. It's hazy. I guess it's unfiltered, of course, and and then the oat give this.
Also, the wheat can give this haziness.
This haziness, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a really pleasant hop, but with a lot of intensity.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about Sauvignon Blanc, and now we all can smell.
And it's fruity, but not too much.
Mm-hmm.
So we can find the pineapple, the white grape, of course.
Yes, white grapes, pineapple, that's something. Mm-hmm.
And once you have drink a bit more, maybe you can find the lime, lychee, melon, or kiwi as well.
Mm-hmm. And it has a really nice mouthfeel. It's smooth, it's balanced. It's easy to drink. That was a smart decision to give the name, take it easy, because it's easy to drink. It's really well balanced. It's smooth. And it's straight, and it's dry in the aftertaste, and you really get the hop profile again in the thought. And so it's...
It's easy to drink, and that's why we choose as the best option for the beginning. Because you can drink more than one can.
It's not overpowering, You can taste the other ones, but no.
It's only 4.9% of alcohol volume, so it's perfect if you want to drink 2 or 3 beers in a row.
Yeah. No, it's really pleasant. Label and name. Who is responsible for the artwork and giving the name to the individual beers?
Well, for us, it's very important, the labels, because you know that everyone that enters to a beer shop now is basic, the design. All the people, many of them buy the cans only for the design first than the content. And our designer is Eva Felipe, that is the sister of one of the partners. And her designs are crazy. So we are very, very happy with her work, and it makes all the Cierzo cans recognizable everywhere. That is something very important for us as well. And
her background is, she's an artist?
Well, she's a graphic designer.
Okay.
But, as you see, the design is not only rows and dots. It takes a message, a nice, really, really nice combination of colors. Well, it's so complete.
No, they're really outstanding, because they are recognizable, you really can see, and they stay out of the shelf. That's a really important thing. I completely agree with you. Also, the back labels, you give a lot of information, which is also really helpful for the consumer in the end of the day, because you're telling the IBUs, recommended temperature, then you're putting on a little bit of the story, which is really, really cool. Then also, the kind of ingredients you're using, which is also a cool thing, I guess, for most of the people. And
Well, we try also to give an storytelling with every can. So on the text, not only explain ingredients, so we we want to tell you a story to involve you in the brand and in the beer before taste it.
Mm-hmm. So I understand, tranquilo amigo. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Slowly.
Be
But
quiet.
then continue. What's written on it?
It's keep calm, open this can and enjoy the smell, the fruity smell, with tropical and balsamic notes, the Nelson Sauvin hops, and let your mind fly.
Okay.
And finally, you can repeat.
Yeah. You can easily get another one.
Yeah.
Cool. Recommended food when you also manage the bar. Is this something you do properly, or in the Cierzo bar is no food at all, only some, I don't know, snacks, or is food playing a big role at your place?
We have a complete food menu.
Oh, okay.
And we can marry it with and mix with the beer with food. As we talked before, we love to do tastings, but not only with beer, also with food.
Okay.
4 or 5 beers and 4 or 5 dishes. And with the explanation, the marriage, we love to do it, and we hope to can do it in the future again.
We all hope this. So, what would you recommend food-wise to pair with this New Zealand Pale Ale? What is your recommendation?
Well, it's a very fresh beer. So, like an aperitif or something fresh as well, I think. I didn't mix it with meat or something hard. Something light.
A salad, maybe only a smart salad, could work, with some fresh tomatoes on it.
Fresh cheese or something light, yeah.
But the cheese should be, as you already told, should be super, super light, because if the cheese gets too intense, then it's overpowering the beer, and then this really good beer.
Yeah, no fats for this beer, I think.
That's true. So I can tell that you guys are doing quite a lot of different beers per month, because I'm sometimes getting under pressure, because there's so much new beer coming out to serve that beers into the Austrian market. But the question is how many beers you do normally per month. Is this something you can share with us and tell us?
Well, permanent, really only a bit of references. Citra, for example, is one of our best sellers. Calanda, for example, but is a little bit disappointing, but the market is
always asking for something new.
Yeah.
Because you must keep the beer geeks happy, and that's a little bit unfair for the brewer, because the brewer himself wants to showcase his kind of all-time favorites, the core range, let's call the core range, but I really understand and see what you mean, and it's a fair point, because you're losing attraction if you're not bringing out,
exactly,
I don't know, 2 beers per week, then the beer geeks are asking, what's going on at Cierzo? What they are doing?
Well, more or less eight beers per month, more or less, per batch. We used to introduce 4 new references and another 4, more or less, beers than we have made before.
Okay. So you're going to re-brew on a constant base, also older and other recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brewing. Tell us a little bit about the brew house itself. How big is the system? And technical equipment. What is inside?
Okay. Well, so then now we can produce more or less 12,000 liters and per month, more or less. This is the maximum, but on the last year it was impossible to produce like that. Our machine can do 1,500 liters. So then many times we cook in twice.
So a batch is then 15 hectoliters. Mm-hmm. 15 hectoliter brew house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And the deposits, the higher are of 3,000 liters. Mm-hmm. And we have another ones of 2,400 and the smaller ones are of 1,000.
Okay. And it's a 2-vessel system or 3-vessel system?
Sorry?
The system, is it only mash tank and lighter tank, or is it also a 3-vessel system, or it's only 2 vessels?
Well, we have the boiling room and another tank. So it's a really
2-vessel system.
Mm-hmm. It's a really simple system, but for us is working really good. Okay. So we are so happy with the machine, and it will stay with us for a long time, I think.
And the rest, is there something like, I don't know, you filtration the beer, or you have a centrifuge, or everything is maturated naturally and settled naturally, or
we have
is this?
We make a whirlpool and a very simple filtrated, only for particles that we don't want on the beer, but nothing else. Okay.
And for how long you storage the beers? In the tank for 10, 15 days, I don't know, 20?
Well, it depends on the style and on the canning, because it used to stay well on the tank. So some styles maybe 15 days only, another styles 3 weeks. It depends on the canning and on the style of the beer.
Cool.
Many times, for example, imperial stouts can be more time on the tank. It depends.
Also, Pilsner can stay longer. Do you know how long?
4 weeks or 5 weeks.
5 weeks. 30 days, yeah. That's something you normally should do, when it comes to bottom fermented beers. Cool.
We have brewed a Keller beer that it's really, really good. I don't know if you have received it. So on the previous batch it was. I recommend you to bring it to Austria, because
Fernando, you have to imagine. I would say we have already the world's best unfiltered Keller beers.
I know.
Earth, because that's what our breweries are made really famous, So it's März and it's Keller and unfiltered lagers, We are really aiming to be one of the best I would say, on planet Earth, and so it's always hard for myself to bring something like a Keller beer from Saragossa to Austria, because I guess.
I know.
But why not? I can give it a trial. But normally that's something like I have in mind, don't bring water to the sea when you have it. I hope you understand what I mean, because we can swim in Keller beer and März.
Yeah. It will be more common
to find beers
on the other way that we bring us the color beer. But this one, if you don't read the can, maybe you think that it's made in Germany or in Austria.
Really, the Keller beer or what?
Yeah.
Okay, the artwork. Cool. So I would suggest to take the next one.
Okay.
Que vaina? Is it wrong?
Que vaina.
Que vaina. Que vaina.
Yeah.
Que vaina is the next beer for tonight. And now it's getting more intense. We're now getting a Hazy Ipa with ABV 5.3. And it's a collaboration, huh?
Yeah, with Peninsula.
Mm-hmm.
They are from Madrid, but the head brewer is from Venezuela. And this is because the beer is named Que Vaina, because it's a typical expression there.
Ah, okay. And do you know what does it mean?
Like, what the hell, or something.
Ah, okay. What the hell you are brewing? What the hell is going on? So then, let's see what the hell is happening inside the can. Mm-hmm. It's really, I would say, golden color-wise, again, with a really nice white head. So foam is stable as well. Of course, it is hazy. So tell us a little bit what kind of malts are inside, hops. Is it brewed in your brewery or is it brewed at Peninsula back in Madrid?
Well, at the beginning of 2020, we made a first collaboration with them in Madrid, in Peninsula. Mm-hmm. And at the final of 2020, we brewed this one in our brewery.
Oh, okay.
The first one was called Windmill, because of the wind, Cierzo, and so on. And this one, honoring Roman, the head brewer of Peninsula. And I profit that we love making collaborations. It's one of the best parts of this work. Because I consider that one of the best things of work for a brewery is that you are learning every day. So you can learn of every brewer that come to your house, or if you come to their house. In this case, Roman is a very interesting guy, and he knows a lot of beer and also a lot of business. So you can take for many parts of the.
He can give you a lot of advices. It can be from brewing, technical things.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for this one, we used liquid yeast. That it's a mix of coastal haze and another one, and WLP 067. And the hops are Citra, Mosaic, El Dorado, because we like a lot El Dorado when we went to their fabric, to their brewery, and we decided to use it in this one as well.
Okay. But the basement, let's say the liquid itself, the wort, is always kind of the same kind of recipe. When you start brewing, the base, the wort, it's always pale malt, oats, or you're also changing the malt recipe for the individual beers.
Yeah, we change for each one, I think, more or less. We are using lately many times oatmeal and wheat for many years. And we change from liquid yeast to dry yeast, depending on the recipe.
Yeah, but when we talk only about the malt bill, is it more or less the same for most of the beers? Malt basement.
Well, the extra pale is used for a lot of them. But in this case, we used Mary Sotter as well.
Okay.
And this one includes dextrin, oatmeal, and wheat in this recipe.
Okay.
But the basement is extra pale. Yeah.
Is extra pale, okay. Hop, wheat, and oats. So then, let's taste the beer.
It was a really funny day, this one, with Roman. And was a really strange day as well, because was the first beer we have done in collaboration after the pandemics.
Okay.
So it was the first one with the face mask. Only Roman can come to Zaragoza.
Okay, so he was in the brewery, because that's also something I want to ask. Maybe you exchange the ideas only via Zoom or Skype, but back in these days, end of 2020, he was allowed to travel to Saragossa, brew the beer together with you, okay?
This time, yes. But now it's very usual as well, make the recipes online, because it depends on the situation of each area when the breweries are.
That's unfortunately true. So let's talk about the beer, aroma-wise.
Well, this one is also easy to drink. Maybe you can receive notes of piña colada.
That's something, I also get some mandarin, some orange notes, some tangerine notes. That's what I get. Then more on the citrus side.
Some tropical fruits.
Taste-wise, it reminds me more on pina colada. When you get it on the tongue, when you taste it, then you get a slightly hit of pina colada, something like coconut, pineapple is coming, all the kind of exotical fruits.
A little bit of herbal accents as well.
And it's more intense in the mouth.
Yeah, because it's very bitter.
Yeah, it's bitter, but then the aftertaste,
it's dry.
Dry, and it goes really, really fast. So it's not really overpowering long for a long time, So it's more or less like a cut, Aftertaste, it cut it immediately.
Yeah. After the bitterness, it's completely dry. Yeah.
Okay. There's a question coming. Gabriela is asking, the hop Loral, is this a new hop variety? Is this common or is it something, I don't know? Because also for me...
Which one? El Dorado?
No, L'Oral. L'Oral. If I'm right, L'Oral.
What? I don't know. Which one is it?
Let me double check. So L'Oral, was it in the beer before?
No, because the previous one was a single hop of Nelson Sauvignon.
Yeah, only of Nelson Sauvignon. Gabriela, can you maybe come back again with the question, because we are searching now, both are searching for the hop variety L'Oral, or you mean El Dorado? Because so far we did not have any beer with that kind of hop, and we are also not familiar with it. So maybe you can re-ask the question. Label-wise, you know, for what these days, it's also something which is related.
Well, it's in this case it's really freestyle because the name it's like abstract, so
not really any rules.
Like the head exploding with a lot of ideas. You can think whatever you want, more or less, about it.
It's wild, yeah. Let's get wild. Cans. No, we're not talking about cans now. First of all, I want to know, tell us a little bit about the Spanish craft beer scene.
Okay. Well, I think that it's growing a lot in a few years. In Zaragoza, for example, we don't have a craft beer house to drink a craft beer for a long time, and from 5 years until today, more or less, you have a really good offer of we have Cierzo, we have Hoppy, we have 3 or 4 more tap rooms, and another brew pub on the town. Okay. And like in Zaragoza, Madrid is growing really faster, and well, Barcelona maybe is on the. It was the first city in Spain to drink craft beer, I think, but now it's maybe not growing as Madrid.
Okay.
And about breweries, I think that in Spain we are making a really really good beer, good quality now. We have giants like Baskeland, Garage, and we have another options like Peninsula, in this case, or ourselves, or
of course.
Edge Brewing, Tugals. There are a lot of breweries, and all of them are working really, really good.
Okay.
We can be proud now in Spain with the level, and I think that the rest of Europe is appreciating that as well.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Also in Austria now, we get more and more understanding. You know how good the beers are from Spain. So then you would say, when was the start? When it was really kicking off? Was it back in 2016, 15?
In Spain?
In Spain.
Well, I think maybe a bit before, because there are breweries that are working for 10 years or or so on. But
then we are talking also about
maybe
Barcelona. When we're talking 10 years back, because Beer Cap was, I would say, the first craft beer bar in Spain, if I'm right.
I'm not sure if it was the first.
Okay.
But one of the more famous, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they try to have the best breweries from all over the world. So, but maybe the boom, 5-6 years ago. But anyway, I think that there were a lot of people interested and working and studying in craft beer before 10 years. Okay. But not for the mainstream. Now we are in a better position, I think, for the customer.
So when the Spanish Brewers Association coming out year by year with the numbers from the last year, is craft beer already written? So you have only percentage of the total produced hectoliters. Is this something which is existing? You understand what I mean? If you're already so big that, I don't know, 2% or 3% of the total beer market in Spain is craft, or is it still too small?
Few years ago, it was only, I think I remind 1% only.
Okay.
And maybe now we can be around the 3, I don't know exactly. We are growing, but not
around
as fast.
3 to 4%. Do you know how many hectoliters were produced last year in Spain?
No.
Roughly?
I don't know.
Okay. Because Austria produced nearly 9 million hectoliters last year in Austria, and I would say that craft beer is not really, they are always talking about Bierspezialitäten, beer specialities, and it's around, I would say, 1 to 2% market share,
And now in this... Now in these hard times, so then many breweries have closed as well. So then maybe we are growing like not in hectoliters, but not increasing the number of breweries.
Okay. So it's more that it is a growth in hectoliters than in new breweries. So a lot of breweries have to shut down their business regarding to COVID.
Okay. And even before, I think. Okay. Because it's not an easy business. Then many people can think that is an easy business, but after this, it's a hard work.
So there is Birgit. She is quite new when it comes. Birgit is asking and telling us she is quite new in tasting hazy IPAs and IPAs, and she wants to know from you the difference if Quevaina wouldn't be an hazy IPA. What would be the biggest difference between a hazy and a normal IPA?
Okay. Well, to be an IPA, this beer, we have to maybe not use the liquid yeast we have used for this one. And also not adding oatmeal and wheat. Really the hazy, it's only the on the glass, not in anything else. So then these are these kind of ingredients, the yeast or oatmeal, wheat, can give this haziness. The yeast also fruital notes and other things, but the hazy, it's maybe like we talked before about the new reference each month. So the market demands hazy IPAs. So we try to do it.
So Birgit, it's more or less, that the oat and also the wheat brings and helps the profile, the taste profile of the beer itself. It brings in this haziness, this really soft and round mouthfeel. And if we would made, or if they would made, or in general, if they would made it without oat, for example, it would get less hazy, it would be more bright, and also the mouthfeel would a little bit be less smooth and round. And as Fernando told us, the yeast as well, brings in this really characterizing kind of aroma, mouthfeel, complexity of this kind of new hazy IPAs. So a good reference, when you say, okay, and West Coast all-time example, a really good example is, for example, Stone IPA, It's bright, it's fresh, it's clean, it's bitter, it's not fruity at all, it gets more in this herbal characters, it's really grassy and all that kind of stuff. So that's the main difference, I would say, when it comes now to all this hazy,
Yeah.
hazy, double hazy, triple hazy. So it's cool because it's more intense, it's fruity, but it always can be a little bit tricky, for new beer drinkers. It brings in a lot of fruitiness, a lot of tropical notes. But then in the end, it's soft, it's smooth, but then it ends up that it's still bitter. So that can be something really, really difficult for people which are trying the beers or this kind of style for the first time. But overall, the really good beer style, and we all are happy that it's existing, because 4 years ago, 5 years ago, no one was really understanding what hazy IPA, hazy pale ale, double hazy means really. It was already well known, I would say, in America, in the States, people already getting quite a bit of an understanding. But here, people in Central Europe.
Well, at that time, maybe it will be the same with the New England IPA, for example.
So it was something, back in the days, I would say that Cloudwater from Manchester in the UK, they were one of the first which really showcased New England IPAs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they are the kings of the haziness.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And they were, especially here in Europe. I agree. Good, Fernando. I would say, let's jump in to Camille.
Okay. I don't know if I have enough space to storage all this.
Okay, on your table, yeah.
Yeah.
It's too hard to finish all the beers, We are professionals.
I will do. Well, I have to take this one now, and let's go with Camille.
Yes, with Camille. With the nice, lovely beer on the label. So, then it's again a collaboration between you guys and also Brew and Co. based in Madrid.
Yeah, based in Madrid, but they are from UK.
Okay. and why they changed to Spain?
I think I remember that they have studied here in Erasmus.
Okay.
They
program?
met here. They back to the UK, and they decided to return to Spain, open a tap room, and a brewery.
Okay.
They are really nice people. We met them last year in one of our last trips in January in 2020, and we visit their tap room, and then we talk about the first collaboration that was a Russian imperial stout with raisins, and this is the second one we did with them.
Okay. Cool. Then let's open Camille.
Mm-hmm. In this case, the label, the beer in the label, is the last beer in our mountains, in our area, in Pyrenees.
Okay.
And the beer name is Camille.
Okay, so it's the last brown beer?
Mm-hmm. In our mountains.
Okay, and the city, or I don't know, give the
At
beer
the north,
name is Camille.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The beer is called Camille.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fruit bomb. Hazy Ipa, 5.5 ABVs. Hops, what kind of hops you're using?
It has Columbus in the boil and the hop back, and the Quanot and Mosaic on the dry hop. This one also have liquid yeast, London Fog.
It's called London Fog.
That will give us like stone fruit notes.
Yeah.
And you can appreciate that it's more creamy than Quevaina.
Color-wise. It's more intense, it's more thick, it's really hard to look through, and it gets color-wise, but you also can showcase, really to see the difference between the two beers. When it comes to the haziness, that's more or less like really milky, it's really difficult to look through. Color-wise, they are similar, also really shiny golden, but
it's creamy with a good body and good head retention.
And a lot of stone fruits are coming, this intense. It's really, really intense when it comes to stone fruits.
It's really easy to drink as well. And a medium bitterness, less than Quevaina.
And it gets also kind of a really nice aftertaste, So there is something, the aftertaste is really balanced, smooth, round. So
the aftertasting is more light and not as dry as the Quevaina.
Quevaina hasn't really any aftertaste at all, because it was bitter, it was really intense in the mouth. But now the aftertaste, it's staying, and that's something I really, really like. If it's not cutting it immediately, so that's a really nice aftertaste. Camille.
Yeah, this one invites you to drink more immediately. It's
because it dries out a little bit the mouth, and so automatically you will ask to get more and more.
It's more kind.
When we're talking about yeast, you're using dry yeast, liquid yeast, but the question is, do you also propagate your own yeast or not?
Not already.
Okay.
But maybe, in the future, because our head brewer is chemical.
Mhm.
So then he will like to do it. But it's really complex in this moment and maybe in the next future.
Mhm.
But it will be super interesting have our own yeast.
Mhm. The Sonia, I have to introduce you, Fernando, to Sonia. Sonia is our all-time fan, and she's also a home brewer. You know, she is attending from the first drink at home session, every single one. And now she's writing that Camille so far is her favorite. And I completely agree. Camille is also so far my favorite beer of tonight, you know.
Okay.
Because it gets this fruitiness, it's balanced, it's round, you know, it's on the point for me, you know, and also what we already discussed, you know, this aftertaste. No, it's a really perfect and well done combination of all the ingredients, you know. So it's a really, really round.
It's very well balanced, yeah. Mhm.
It's a superb beer.
Thank you, Sonia.
She really knows what she's saying, you know. No, cool. And also Santi is sending you greetings. And he's writing, I love Fernando.
Hola, Santi.
No. Camille, what kind of food would you suggest or recommend?
Well, for that,
maybe something typical from Saragossa or from your area. What is on the list or what is on the menu in your brew pub which you recommend to go with this beer?
Well, on the brew pub is very is easier to recommend to mix with the classics. I mean, it's easier to recommend a Belgian style Weizen beer. With this kind of beers, more complex is more difficult, and many times the customer wants this beer and
take it alone and take it as a meal as it is. But I can imagine, you know, that some kind of tacos, you know, small tacos.
Yeah, we have tacos with ternasco, that is the typical here in Zaragoza.
It's a fruit, but what is it?
It's no, like a lamb.
Okay. Lamb meat.
And it's super typical here in Zaragoza.
But also I can see, you know, tacos with some fresh,
fresh onion.
You know, some onion, you know, not too intense, some olives, you know, that can be a really, really cool combination.
Yeah, it will work, sure. There was a long time I didn't taste it, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
No, really, it's also, you know, it's not too heavy. It's only 5.5, and it's really easy to drink, you know, but it is easy on one hand. On the other hand, it's really complex, you know, it's intense, it's fruity. It gets all of these things which are really needed, you know, especially for the summertime. Now it's getting warmer and warmer, and, you know, 5.5, and you also can drink 2 or 3.
Yeah, Take It Easy was the perfect beer for the starting.
Yeah.
But this one is the perfect one for the next 2 or 3 pints after.
So tell us also a little bit about Saragossa. Population of Saragossa. Unfortunately, I've never been in Saragossa. I've been in Madrid, in Barcelona, in Bilbao, in Valencia, in so many different, but never Saragossa. So tell us, or also me, all the people which are listening about Saragossa.
We are just in the middle of the way from Madrid to Barcelona. So then next time you visit one of both, you can stop in Zaragoza. The population is rounding the 800,000 people. So it's a huge city in population, but a really comfortable city to live, because everything is really closer than seems to be.
Okay. And economic-wise, what is the main economic kind of thing? What is happening in Zaragoza?
Well, so we have a lot of big companies working here. We have Saika here, that is one of the bigger paper companies in Europe. We have near Zaragoza also Judigar, that is one of the bigger services company in Europe as well. In Caspe, we have a fabric for Adidas.
Adidas?
Yeah.
That's funny. Because normally, when you hear Adidas or Nike, you always think, okay, it's from Asia. Everything is coming from Asia. Yeah, but it's good to know.
Yeah, but they established here many years ago.
Okay.
There was a time that you can buy a pair of Adidas there, for example, in Austria, and maybe on the label puts made in Zaragoza.
Okay.
Yeah, but on the 80s maybe.
Okay. Cool. And situation with COVID at the moment, how does the current situation looks like in Zaragoza? Lockdown, bars are open, or what's going on in Zaragoza?
Not as complex than a few months ago, but still not the ideal situation. Now, for example, on the brew pub, only 4 people can be together on the same table, and we can only attend to the 30% of the maximum of people. And well, still
but at least,
improving.
I tell you, we are all waiting for this day that we can go back into a bar, because you, as I understand it right,
I know.
People are allowed to sitting on a table.
Mm-hmm.
Only 30% of the total capacity is allowed to attend.
Mm-hmm.
And until when you are allowed to open?
Well, we have to close from October to...
No. Now the current situation. Until when? Until which?
Sorry. 10 p.m. And you are still on a lockdown of...
we are going...
No bars.
From midnight on, we are going to the 5th lockdown, if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
So that means only food stores, off trade. So that means daily needs, daily basics, like, of course, food, pharmacies, they will be open. But overall, it's a lockdown. No one is allowed to go out for daily. You can go to work, of course, but only if you need to go, because normally you have to do it from home. So home office is required. So all the other stores, are closed. Bars, of course, they are closed since November, on and off trade. So on trade bars, restaurants, you can pick up food until 7 in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
You can get delivered food for a longer time. What else is happening? Now it's coming Easter, and you only can meet one person from another room, flat, house. So you can get and bring the families together for Easter. And that will go now until April 11th, that we are back in a full lockdown, and then we will see what will be the next kind of thing. So when it comes to, it's really sometimes it's really annoying, but we have to deal with it and we have to stay together and make the best out of it, And when it comes to on-trade, bar business, restaurants, all that kind of thing, we are hoping that, I hope it's also that the people which are listening and not getting upset now, but if you ask me, when on-trade will be back kind of in business, then I would suggest middle of May to end of May, hopefully.
Well, now here is the opposite. We can meet on the bars, but we are not able to meet at home with another people that is not living with you. So,
but to make a long story short, did people, if they want to show up in the bar, need their test or something, a COVID test or not?
No.
But who is coming? You have to make a reservation. You have to take a status.
Well, we take reservations as usually.
You don't know.
No.
Who are the individual persons are?
No.
Okay, because that's also something, what most of the people say, that the infection is happening now on a private properties, in flats, houses, all that kind of stuff, because people want to open the bars and they are requiring, tests, COVID tests. They will take the names from every individual person, and then it's easier to track the people, because we are meeting in a bar, they have all our data, I get infected, then easily they can find out that you were on the table, that my girl was on the table, that your girl was on the table, and then they connect and let us know we are all get infected maybe, and we have to stay for 14 days. But anyway, it is how it is. You are lucky enough, you can go to the bar, we have to drink at home, and that's why we go to drink propaganda.
Okay.
And Hazy IPA again?
Yes.
It's now we are getting to 6% ABV. Propaganda stays for craft beer resistance. It's a single brew, so it's brewed only from you guys. It's not a collaboration because there's no other brewery listed.
Only Cierzo, yes.
Only Cierzo. And propaganda stays for?
Yeah, well, this is
propaganda.
This beer is really fun because we wanted to play with an hybrid between a West Coast APA, meaning resinos, dry, and vita. And the play is with an East Coast IPA with the body, silkiness, intense notes. So it will be a funny taste, this one.
Okay. Then I'm looking forward.
I hope so.
No, we all hope. It is again really thick, really hazy. Nice white foam. Orange color, intense orange color. Okay.
Well, in this case, we have used the Golden Promise as a malt base. and oat and wheat as well.
That's basically part of every individual beer which we had tasted so far. It's oat and wheat. It's always in the malt bill. And what kind of hops are in?
Well, so it has Chinook on the boil, Atanum on the hopback, and Equanot on the dry hop.
Okay. Now it's getting.
So we have again tropical fruit, but also the resinous note, even pine.
I'm getting out more this raisiness, this pininess, than the fruitiness. I'm picking up, on my tongue, I'm picking up something kind of sweet, it reminds me a little bit on a peach, taste-wise on the tongue, or an apricot. And then it gets, in the end of the tongue, I get this really intense bitterness, this kind of dryness, which... And
the aftertasting is also dry and bitter.
Yeah. And also on the tongue, it stays now. Now the bitterness is there, it's staying, and it's there to stay a little bit longer.
And for this one, we used a dry yeast that is the Lallemand Verdant. We like a lot this yeast.
Lallemand Verdant yeast, yeah. What is written on the back label? Adel Camarades, Revolution, Cerveceria.
Is go on, colleagues. The beer revolution needs us stronger as ever.
Okay.
In your home, in the bars, in the shops, in the fabrics, in the breweries.
Okay.
No step back. And cheers on the distance with this IPA with dry hopping of Equanot, because the victory will be us.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a cool message to spread to the world.
Yeah. It's so appropriated for this situation.
Yeah. That's cool. When it comes to the ingredients, Fernando, you are trying to get, for example, the malt as local as possible, or are you sourcing them from bigger malteries around Europe? Or you try to get connected to your area with farmers? I don't know.
Well, we try to be connected with our area, as we talk later. We will talk later about this also with Calanda, for example. In everything we can. In this case, with the malt, it's not the case. We try to buy it to the UK, or if it's not possible, to a provider here in Spain.
Okay. So you're getting your malts from the UK, and if they are not available in the UK, then you try to source it out in Spain.
Yeah, well, UK used to be our primal option, but we can divide from Spain and UK.
Okay, but why you're picking, or why your main country when it comes to malt is the UK? Because there's Belgium, next to you. There's Germany, Weiermann, Castle Malt is in Belgium. Why?
Well, in this case, I think that is the malts that our head brewer is used to work with, because he was formed in the UK. He learned there to brew more or less 15 years ago or more maybe. I think that he's used to work with this kind of malts, and he liked it more.
Makes sense, and he still believes that that's the best malt, and he knows what he can get out of the malt. Yeah. He is the brewer, and so it's good that he finally has the decision. And hops, where are you sourcing your hops?
Well, the hop issue is more difficult, because you have to make a preview of hops for a year or sometimes more. And it's really difficult, because you have to, well, not to make a preview of references, but a preview of hops that can match within them for the previous beers. So then, as every brewery, we have to make a hop contract for year by year, usually. On the last batch, in this one, well, Take It Easy, for example, is with a hop from New Zealand, and we bought another New Zealand hops that we used to mix it on the Tsunami, a double IPA, and we try to innovate with new hops and using the hops that we like more as well. Okay.
But now we're coming back to propaganda. Now, if it gets a little bit more in temperature, if air is coming in, and if it stays a little bit longer, then I get also in the taste, this piney, this kind of aromas, and also the taste,
Maybe it has a different evolution than the previous ones. You can feel more aroma, more a different tasting while the beer is in evolution in the glass.
Yeah. Let's get in this rosiness, this pininess is coming now.
Now it has some of the same notes than we have served, but another part is nothing to do with the beginning of the beer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is the complex part of the game I told you, from between the West Coast style and the East Coast, that it's a complex mix with a lot of things.
Yeah, and it's two worlds catching and coming together, because East Coast, West Coast style, and then on top it's a hazy IPA, so.
And both sides are the opposite each other. Resinous, dry, bitter versus fruity.
No, it's a really good idea. Alexandra is asking, tonight we're only having kind of pale beers, hazy IPA, pale ales, and all that kind of stuff. Are you guys brewing also other beers, other styles?
Well, we have a lot of styles. In this case, we choose only IPAs, but we like a lot make imperial stouts. Now we are brewing also classic styles, like the color beer I told you. Also a Rauch beer on the last batch. An imperial dark Weizenbock. but also Berliner Weisse,
plums,
Saison. What more styles? Well, we try to invest time in every kind of customer, because not everyone is interested only in IPAs, and we also like to do another kind of beers.
Yeah, and it's also important, because the world is not existing, and here on planet Earth only for Hazy IPAs and pale ales, but as you already mentioned, it's at the moment people are lining up for it, they're waiting for it, and so that was also why I suggested to do a tasting, also it's getting warmer, we need some fruitiness, imperial stouts we can do later by the year, also intense beers, but they are all super fresh, and it can also give kind of an introduction to Cierzo, because I think that you also can showcase what it means to brew all these hazy pale ales, IPAs, double and all that kind of stuff, because it's not easy at all, because we are still aiming for balance. It should be round, it should be not overpowering. I don't know, hop character should not overpowering the malt bill and all that kind of thing. So it's not easy at all. And so for me, it was really cool that we get the opportunity to get these 6 beers fresh as possible. And so also you get it home delivered, fresh as possible. And I really enjoyed the tasting so far, And even there are only IPAs and pale ales. But it also can give you an idea, because it showcases perfectly the difference.
Yeah, well,
even they are similar beer styles, but there's a difference.
And maybe the cool people be wrong thinking that an IPA is a more complex style than a classic one. Because for me, brewing a perfect Pilsner, lager, or even a Weizen beer, 100% perfect is even more difficult than to make a good IPA.
I agree.
But really difficult.
Yeah. But the most difficult thing is Pils, Helles, unfiltered lager. That's the world class of brewing. Jutta is asking you, Fernando, what kind of trends beer-wise you are seeing, beer styles, beer-wise, coming up in Spain and also worldwide? What do you think could be the next kind of thing, hype?
Well, coming up, we are watching that the lager has returned. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's a really good new. But we are still in a country that the IPA is the queen of the beers. But anyway, as everybody that works for a brewery, tap room, has this role of help people to find their favorite style, to taste more and more. And then once you have tasted a lot of beers, you can decide if you prefer an IPA or a lager. But if you don't taste, or you don't want to taste, it's impossible. But I think that lagers are coming up again. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the proof is a lot of breweries, as we have canned the color beer. Another breweries are making Helles, are making lagers, and not as before that were hoppy lager, because maybe we sell it better. Now it's lager.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
No, and hobby lager, what is hobby lager? It's not a style. It's not a style in the guideline, and so you can also cover mistakes, brewing mistakes, when you say, okay, it's a dry hopped lager.
We have seen Indian Pale Lager
All that kind of stuff is happening. Jutta, it was a really good question, and the answer was clear for me before Fernando answered it, because international, we can really see that lager, helles, and all that kind of thing is picking up. The point is that people are searching and aiming for something really drinkable, easy drinking, well done, round, smooth, and all that kind of thing, But what I can tell you, Jutta, is that we are living here in Austria and we have one of the best lager breweries on planet Earth, And so it will be a really, really hard and difficult way for all the international breweries to come close to the level which we get here in Austria, especially, And for the Austrian market,
Sorry, I think you said perfectly that we are going back to the easy drinking. Yeah.
And I can see Jutta here because we are used to drinking all that kind of lager beer, and for us it's sometimes kind of tiring, it's kind of boring. And I can see here for the Austrian market that especially these hoppy beers, like pale ales, IPAs are picking up, more and more because, as I mentioned already in the beginning, we are living in a lager-driven country. We can be happy, and a lot of countries are asking me at the moment, give some advices for Austrian beers, for some German beers which are really well made, which are still family owned, and so that's kind of shifting. We are searching for IPAs and all the pale ales and all this funny stuff, and so international market is searching for helles and lager. Cool. So before we go to the next beer, there's a question coming up from Tom. He's really interesting to hear, the difference, when you can explain the difference for you between West Coast and East Coast IPA.
Well, for me, the West Coast, I love West Coast IPAs.
Okay.
And
West Coast IPAs tell 3 points, 3 really magnificent points of bitter,
resinous, a clean beer, and dry.
Mm-hmm. And why you like them?
Sorry?
Why you're a super fan of West Coast style IPAs?
Well, if it's well done, a good West Coast IPA, I think that is the perfect IPA, because you have you are surrounded in this beer for everything that must be a good beer. The bitterness, the resinous. Well, it depends on your taste, of course, because the resinous is maybe not good for everyone.
Yeah.
And I like also the dry drinks. So, but it's my opinion.
Yeah. And it's good that we are individual.
A West Coast has everything I like in a drink: the bitterness, the dry flavor, and the resinous touch. But the East Coast could be more fruity, more with a different body, maybe not as clean.
It's also more malt driven, it's not so hazy, it's not so resinous, it's not so piney and not so resinous, not so bitter, it's more on the malty.
But also this silkiness we were talking before. Well, both styles are good for me, but I prefer this West Coast beer for sure. Yeah.
Old school, old school.
Yeah.
Crazy what we are talking about, you know. We are talking that West Coast is old style. Oh my God, you know, it's, you know, really go back 6 years, 7 years, you know, we're aiming for fresh West Coast style IPAs from the States. And now it's old school. Yeah?
One of my favorite Cierzo references is Bang Bang. That is a West Coast IPA.
Okay.
And I love it. It's a very good recipe. But we have a new one. Mm-hmm. But your customers have to discover it in a very near future.
And it's on the way to Austria. Okay, Fernando. We're going now.
Next.
Yes, Mango Roots.
Mango Roots.
It's again a collab?
Yeah, a collab with a brewery in our area.
Pyrenees?
Yeah. Near the mountains of the beer we have talked before.
Okay. So it's a brewery which is connected to the last beer, to the last brown beer, Camille.
Well, for the area, yeah.
Okay, for the area.
For the area of the bear.
Okay.
They are in Aragon, in our area.
Mm-hmm.
And they are also a young brewery.
Okay.
And this is a very special beer. Okay. I think it's the most particular of every beer we have tasted today.
So that means Mango Roots means it contains fruit?
Yeah.
It contains fruit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a fruit IPA, a fruit IPA, sorry. And, it's again a balance between
let's see.
Okay.
Let's pour in the glass and then we can
perfect.
So then Mango Roots. Ooh. It's thick, it's hazy. It gets this fruit juice character, you know, color-wise, you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mango Roots. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit. Malt recipe, what kind of malt is inside?
Well, extra pale.
Okay, and again?
Vienna.
Vienna is inside, okay.
Yeah, paying homage to you today.
For the color a little bit, maybe. Mm. Yeah.
And also contains oat and wheat.
Okay.
Well, and hops, El Dorado, Sabro, Styrian Wolf, and Mosaic.
Mm-hmm. And do you know when they added the fruits?
No, in this case, no, because are puree. The next
puree.
One. Mm-hmm.
Puree, but when they added the puree in the lagering?
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
For the next one, we will talk.
The next one, we're talking about Mango Roots now.
About treatment of the fruit for ourselves.
But that kind of...
Well, the yeast is the same than in the previous one in propaganda. Is the verdant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I guess that they put in the puree during the lagering and then they were filtering it out. So that's what I think how they made it. But now, aroma-wise, you're getting out intense note of maracuja, passion fruit is coming out. Passion fruit, fresh passion fruit. And then it's getting this mango, passion fruit note.
Bingo.
Yeah, in the mouth, on the tongue.
It's mango and passion fruit.
Bit, yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. And then it gets a little bit of kind of a tartness in the aftertaste, When it leaves the end of the tongue and it goes through, then you get it slightly kind of tartness.
Yeah, this is sorry. Continue.
End up then in a kind of and slightly bitter aftertaste.
With this beer, the funny part of this beer is that we wanted to balance the acidic of the passion fruit, that is very intense, with the fruity part of the mango. So then we added the twice more of mango than passion fruit to get this balance, because the acidic is so strong. Yeah. So then added the twice part of mango to reduce this acidic. And the beer will be more kind in the mouth.
Do you know the percentage of passion and mango? What they added per liter? Or not?
80 kilos of mango and 40 kilos of passion fruit.
Okay, for a batch of 15 hectoliters.
I think the 2.4.
What do you mean with 2.4?
2.4 hectoliters, the 2,400 liters.
Okay, it was a double. Okay. 24 hectoliters. That can be also something, which you easily can enjoy for breakfast.
Yeah.
No, really, it can be something like a smoothie for breakfast. Of course, it contains quite a bit of alcohol, 6% ABV, but...
Yeah, with an avocado toast or...
things like that. It gets this kind of tartness, balance kind of thing, So it's a really cool idea, to be honest. The brewmaster had a really good idea to showcase.
Yeah, because the hops are citrus and tropical, and mixed with the mango and passion fruit. So in the mouth, it enters silky, kindly, but slightly sweet. Also with the mango and the tropical fruit dominating, and later you can feel this acidity of the passion fruit, because I have to.
Yeah, it gets this intense,
And the final bitterness you told before is a funny drink with a lot of steps, different steps.
That's true. So Santi is writing, the classic styles are always present in a West Coast IPA. mixed with the best part of a modern IPA. That's true. That's true. West Coast IPA for the basement and give them kind of a twist and treat like all these or most of the new common stars, like hazy IPAs and pale ales. Before we come to the last beer, now we're talking about cans. Why you decide as a brewery to fill the beer only in cans?
Okay. Well, first of all, because we like the where it is, the 440 milliliters is a format that we like a lot. So in this kind of beers, you can enjoy the drink for more time and appreciate all the notes during 44 centiliters and not 33 as many bottles.
And sorry to interrupt you, it also sits perfect in your hand.
Yeah.
Perfect size, 500 milliliters, sometimes too big, 330 milliliters too small, but 440 is something really.
Is the perfect shape, yes. And the first of all the reasons, I think, is the preservation of the product. No light inside, better protection for heat. It has everything, I think. And on
the oxygen is super protected.
Yeah, obviously. Perfect. And on the last part, the design is more appreciated here. But the oxygen, as you told, and the preservation of the product is the first reason to can the beer.
And how is canned beer seen in the Spanish market? There's still people who are saying, okay, yeah, it's a canned beer, it's a cheap beer. It maybe tastes out of the packaging, it tastes like aluminum or all that kind of stuff. Is this still something? It's also something what is happening in Spain still.
There are still people that consider that a beer canned is like a supermarket beer of 30 cents or something like that. But I think that it's another part of I told you before that the people that are working in this
industry,
breweries, brew pubs, or tap rooms, we have to do that.
We have to educate the people.
We have to teach them then this format is much better than a bottle, and the reasons for that, because you don't have to tell someone this is better, and okay,
no,
you have to explain them.
It's easier to transport. It's easier to cool down. It's a way faster. It's better for outdoor activities. There are so many reasons why can are better.
Yeah, everything is better.
Compared to the bottles,
And also in this format of 440, you can share with another one, and after that, drink another one again to share.
I agree.
I don't find any problem with this kind of cans.
Yes, me either. And the good thing is that more and more people are also understanding, even here in Austria, that the people are getting, especially people which are really aiming for good beers, they understand why canned beer is better. So, yeah, there are still so many people to educate, but it's getting to this point, But the most important thing is to recycle the cans right, to put them not to the normal trash, especially here in Austria, because we're gonna recycle it, and so it makes sense. Yeah, canned beer. Cheers to that. Cool. So, time is flying, Santi. Time is really flying.
Yeah.
Fernando. I would say we go now to the last beer.
Okay, so then let's go with Calanda.
Calanda, yes. Double IPA, 8% high. So let's see.
Well, to start with this one, Calanda is a town of our area and very close to our main brewery in Caspe.
Okay.
And they are famous for his peaches.
Okay.
So it's a DO, Calanda, for these peaches that are famous in all Spain.
So then melocotton means peach?
Peach.
I learned something tonight. Melocotton. How is pronounced in Spain?
Melocotón.
Melocotón. Melocotón. Which means peaches or Pfirsich. Melocotón.
And this is one example of that we try, even if it's possible, to collaborate or use product from our area. We are always funding this kind of collaborations with, in this case, with the product. This peach is an amazing product. It's from a nervy field to our brewery, and when the fruit is optimal, it's picked by hand, and after that we do all the treatment. We washed the peach, we peel it, we peel it, and we froze the peach. And after that, on the fermentation, we added the frozen peach at the rate of 100 grain per liter.
Okay. Cool. That's quite a lot.
The malt is extra pale again, and Mary Sotter, and contains wheat. Sorry.
With
it's a single hop double IPA. Only contains Cinco.
Cinco, okay.
And it's all stone fruit. And for this one, as and the previous one, we used puree. In this one is the natural fruit.
Okay. The frozen. Mm-hmm. The frozen one, yeah.
It smells.
It's important to pour the whole can, because what I figured out is that maybe the puree or the fruit is sitting really in the bottom of the can,
Yeah.
Because now I made really empty the whole can, and there was a really sick fruit-contained thing plopping into the can, into the glass. So
it happens because of the fructose of the peach. And I recommend to customers for this time or for the next one to remove, to move the can only the final of the can. You can move it and finish to serve.
Which is common for Hefeweizen beers if you want to get that kind of particulars in. But what I recommend to people having this beer, storage it on the head. That's the best thing, that's something you normally do with Keller beers and unfiltered beers, especially Twiggles, to get this haziness all over the can or the keg. Store it always on the head. But okay, now let's taste it.
It smells of ripe peach.
But I also smell, what I smell is the skin of the peach, it's the skin. They really, when it's not,
Yeah, maybe you can feel like you are touching the
skin.
The peach.
I can feel now and see now me walking through a market in Spain, and you smell, the fruits, and then you get this special smelling of peaches, I can really describe it. So it's sun is shining on the skin, and then it gets this special aroma. That's what I'm picking out now.
Well, but that's very nice, because then we are getting what we want. We are feeling something, tasting it.
Yeah, we are there.
Light citrus and somewhat resinous because of the Cinco. And it's smooth and silky, fruity at the beginning, but bitter at the end.
At the end,
This one in our area is one of the best sellers because of the peach from Calanda, because it's a town very popular in these dates because of the drums in our Semana Santa.
Okay.
And everybody knows Calanda here in Aragon, so it's a beer so popular here.
I think it's a really dangerous beer because it protects and contains a lot of alcohol, but on the other hand, it protects the alcohol, you can feel it. And of course, it's also a good showcase to the peaches from that specific area. And it's a complex beer on one hand, but on the other hand, it's easy to drink, it's refreshing.
And is the thing you say is you are thinking in another things drinking.
Yeah.
You are thinking in the peach, and you are not focused on the alcohol of this beer. So the beer is inviting you to drink.
Yes. Yeah, it's really inviting. There's a good question coming out from Florian, if I remember right. No, from Tom. When we go to the icon of Cierzo, for example, when we take Calanda, and we get...
Okay, it has an explanation.
Three let's say left or right wings, Then we take mango roots, has only two.
Yeah.
Then Camille has only one. Why? Or what is the reason for it?
Okay. The arrow is going to the left if the beer is hoppy. And well, we only have IPAs. And the arrow turns to the right if it's, for example, an imperial stout or the Weissenbock. And if it contains a lot of hops, the arrow goes to the left. And the bars upside are for the alcohol. One only if it's a session IPA, for example. Mango Roots takes 2 because it's 6.5. But if we take Calanda, it has 3.
So something.
It's a way to play with our logo, and the customers finally, or they are thinking about it, or they ask us about it, but that
is something which you only can know if you support really Cierzo, because then you get more or less an idea what you want to showcase.
Yeah, well, if you have drink only one of our beers, you don't know it. But if you have drink several of them, you notice that.
Fernando, you have to convince me now. This question from Tom, I would say, was the best question tonight.
Yeah.
It was Florian. Sorry, I mixed up something. So I would say that Florian gets 2 cans of the newest beers, which we will get soon. Is this something you can commit?
Yeah.
No, really, because this question was, Florian, it's a perfect question. It's a really great question,
It's something that people that have drink 20 or 30 or 40 years never ask for it. So on the first time, appreciate that. Yeah.
No, so even Florian is from Austria, and that shows that he's thinking about what you want to showcase. And so, it's a perfect question. So, Florian, please contact us, write us a message via Facebook, and you will get 2 cans for free from the next shipment, which we got.
And thanks, Tom, because I forget it before on the some explanation of the beers to say that, and it's a really good question. Yeah.
But we get another question from Tom. Also, that's why I mixed it up. When you adding fruits to the beers, fruit is adding also, and it contains sugar. And when you're adding fruits which are containing sugar, sugar is fermenting. And if you're adding sugar, then normally the gravity, the ABV is getting higher. How you control when you're adding fruits that the ABV is not getting too high?
Well,
you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand the question, because when you add fruits contain sugar.
I know what you mean.
Fermentation is happening out of sugar.
I know what you mean, but I'm afraid that this a better question for our head brewer, because I don't know how to answer that.
So that's something maybe I can help out,
I take note about this.
So that's something I can normally help out, When you're adding fruits, maybe fermentation is already done because you're adding the fruits, into the tanks. That means that you brush into the tank something like a fruit puree, which you normally do with dry hopping. It's kind of the same thing, that you add the hops into a vessel and then you press the beer through this vessel, which contains a lot of hops. The same thing you can do with fruits, and most of the beers which are like mango roots or Calanda, I guess. I don't know if it's right, but I think that beer is ready fermented and then they fill the tanks full with fruits and then they filter it. Or they had another vessel and the beer goes through the fruits and gets a lot of fruit flavor. That's what I think they are doing. There are also other ways, you can stop fermentation during playing with the temperatures. You can kill the yeast. But I guess that especially Cierzo is doing it, putting the berries into the vessel storage tank, leave it, settle it down, and then they get out the beers. But it's in your hands now, Fernando. Ask the head brewer. It was only something which I had in mind, how you are doing it. But ask the head brewer, and maybe you can answer via Facebook to Tom's question.
I'll do, yeah.
Exactly, perfect. Cool. One of the last questions for the night is, do you guys have your own canning line?
Not already.
Okay.
We are waiting for it for May.
Okay,
so then
we are get your own canning line. Cool.
We are canning with an external company for the moment, and in a couple of months we will do it for ourselves.
Fernando, a couple of months. Now we have already April, May. So it's
but
you must be excited, It can be happening really, really soon that you get your own canning line.
We have to receive it, put it to work, and learn how it works. So maybe a couple of months, yeah.
Yeah, but you can be excited, because it's called mobile. It's global canning, called in Spain.
Yeah.
Global canning. So that's, I don't know how long this company is existing in Spain, but we got also something similar in Austria. It's called Albin kegging line or canning line. And they are on the market since 2 years, I guess, and also more and more Austrian breweries use these mobile canning line versions to can the beers, which is a good thing,
Yeah, we are, as you said, we are very excited about it, and because for us will be very helpful. It will be the way to make our work more flexible, more continuous. Everything will be better with only with a canning machine. So, but as you say, it's not a cheap toy.
Not a cheap toy. So now a question is coming up to me. Santi is asking, what is my favorite beer from Cierzo? So, Santi, I'm really pleased, that we meet each other, and that we get in contact. And I really enjoy beer. And when it comes to Cierzo, I most enjoy most of the beers. Tonight, still my favorite is Camille, because it's super balanced, it's super smooth, with a high drinkability, which, in my opinion, is really important. Then one of my favorites is this plums. I don't know, how was it called? Plums on this sour?
Plum Job.
Yeah, that's really one of my favorite beers, because especially when it's getting hotter and hotter or warmer and warmer, then I really need something sour. And then, yeah, I like the way you brew, It's a little bit unfair to tell this beer I like more, this beer I like less. But tonight I found my new favorite beer, and it's Camille. I really can say this. Camille is a superb beer, and I hope you're gonna rebrew it.
I think that today I'm agree with you. Yeah. Today was on point.
Really.
Yeah.
Super nice beer. So, last but not least, I want to ask to give some advices for the Austrian beer drinkers. Tell what you think is important when it comes to especially specialty beers, craft beer, and also, of course, about Cierzo.
As we have only tasted IPAs, I recommend your customers if we can send their back to black, that they have to taste it.
Okay.
It's one of the best beers, not from Cierzo. It's one of my favorite beers in general, and I recommend them to taste it because I love it.
And then for the Cierzo lovers overall, the last sentence from you is,
so we are still
powerful, you're from Spain, you're from Saragossa. So
yeah, we are not giving up. We are working so hard, and we hope that you there and in other countries and here in Spain, you can continue enjoying our beers, and that you appreciate the love we put in them in every can. Cheers.
Cheers. Fernando, thank you again. It was really a pleasure for me tasting these beers together with you, to learn more about Saragossa, to learn more about Cierzo. As you mentioned during the tasting, the good thing is in this industry is that we are learning every single day from each other. It can be on a tasting, it can be on a brewing day, it can be whatever it can be, we are learning, and that's
learning every day. Yeah.
That's the most and the good and exciting thing in our industry. So we will continue working together. I wish you all the best. Stay a little bit with us. The last few words I'm going to pronounce in German, but you can have the last word now in Spanish. Give the people something like a kind of Spanish feeling. Tell something about beer, something nice.
Un fuerte abrazo para toda la gente que nos ha visto en Austria. Espero que nos volvamos a ver. Y salud y disfrutad de Cierzo.
Prost.
Prost.
So, liebe Leute, ich hoffe, es hat Spaß gemacht. Jetzt haben wir noch so ein bisschen so ein real Holiday Feeling gekriegt, weil wir einmal was eben extrem Südländisches gehört haben. Ich sage danke fürs Zuhören. Ganz kurz noch, will kurz hinweisen auf die nächsten Verkostungen am 7.4. Flying Monkeys, 14.4. Zillertal Brauerei aus Österreich. Wir kommen wieder zurück nach Österreich. Und wie ich schon mehrmals gesagt habe, wir werden euch ganz einfach nicht im Trockenen sitzen lassen während des nächsten Lockdowns, und wir werden uns mit vielen, vielen interessanten Verkostungen bei euch melden. Und ich sage danke fürs Vertrauen und in diesem Sinne gute Nacht und bleibt gesund und schauen wir, dass es irgendwann vorbei ist. Danke fürs Zuhören.